We're going over the 5 steps to mental well-being this month, and we're on number 2. Last week we talked about, what did we talk about?
Connecting with people.
Thanks, Joanne. Connecting with people.
DL.
One of those days, guys. We talked about connecting with people, and we talked about everything from the roadblocks that we experience to tips and tricks on how to get yourself out there again. Now, this week is number 2, which we are talking about physical activity and the improvement it has on mental health. Now, we're not talking about physical health. We're talking specifically to mental health.
Is that to me saying, Joanne, mental health? Don't go with the physical. Stick with the mental. Yes, ma'am. I will try to stay on topic. Stay on target. Stay on target. The Star Wars.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. I want to also point out that this is coming from, all of these videos are coming from a study done by the National Health Service by the UK. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
So what
I'll try to put the link in the description.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, what we wanted to really talk about is how physical fitness, and that is just getting moving. I mean, granted, you can have different degrees of it. It can be complicated or not. But just getting moving is going to change a lot of things. Everything from your self-esteem because you're accomplishing something, but also there's actual chemical reactions going on in your brain, and you're releasing serotonin and dopamine and all those other fun, happy stuff that's going to really create balance in your brain. Everything from more motivation to less stress. We like less stress. And there's actual connection to it. So I'm going to ask actually my first question for you, Joanne. Do you have a personal experience with not having any exercise, feeling like you're in a funk, and then starting exercising and seeing a real significant difference in your mental well-being? You tell me no, we're going to say you're lying.
Well, first I was thinking, first half of my life, I didn't really exercise. Well,
that's not true.
I did talk about we did the craze, but I really was not.
We played basketball as kids. We were really moving around.
To me, that's not structured exercise. That's just play.
But this isn't necessarily structured exercise. This is literally just raising your heart rate.
Okay. Yeah, I get you. So I will tell you, when I went down to the Grand Canyon the second time, I had not been exercising that much. I tried to prepare because I got the reservation, and I got into some trouble, and I was not a happy camper. Now, part of it was heat stress, but the reason I was in heat stress is because I was not physically. I know you said mental, physically, but mental and physical, like mind, body, spirit, is connected. Mm-hmm. And so physically, I was not prepared. So mentally, I went down this rabbit hole, and it's hard to get yourself out of it. That's the other thing. There's a quote. I can't think of the whole quote right now, but it's basically by Eisenhower, who said, "The mind controls the body." Mm. And if you want the body to do something, you got to convince the mind. And I was down this rabbit hole of the mind was like, oh my God, I'm dying. So
that's rather
last time I went down was better. Yeah, it was. I couldn't think of anything. Sitting around and doing nothing, that's enjoyable.
I mean, it can be enjoyable, absolutely. But
I think the effects of mental health and relating it to exercise is kind of difficult.
I don't find it that way at all.
Okay.
Specifically for me. Because I can honestly say there's been multiple times in my life where I have maybe been in a funk or not feeling particularly motivated, or just even with people in my life that were going through mental health crisis, and they just, you're going to like people that are in genuine mental health crisis, they're going to the doctor, they're talking about prescriptions, all this other stuff. But one of the first things that doctors always wind up saying is daily physical activity will do wonders for you. Now, I know that when I was having anxiety attacks at one point, a lot of this was during the time that mom was dying. I had to like go on walks regularly, and I would put on my headphones, I would listen to music, and I would go for a walk, and I'd do my dancing walk. And it wasn't much, but it was something.
Outside? People
Outside.
saw you?
People saw me.
Sorry, go ahead.
I always have a joke, like sometimes I talk to myself when I'm walking.
Oh, yeah, but today you can do that because you could just say, I have
Agreed.
headphones, I'm talking to someone. Because I saw that on the plane, and I was like, in the 80s, he would have been considered a crazy person.
I know. I think that there has been once or twice where I forgot to bring my headphones, and I had to like tamp down the urge to say things out loud. But but going for a walk really did make a big difference. When I was lifting weights at one point, that really did a lot for my self-esteem during a time where I think I really didn't have a lot. And it was less about what the physical changes were, but more about like, oh, look what I can do now. And that was really exciting. Another was I was in a really bad place at that time, just in a really awful funk. And I decided that I was going to start training for a half marathon, even though I was doing literally no physical activity. I had gained a couple of pounds. I don't even think I could walk a mile at that time. And I started exercising and meeting up with a group of people. And let me tell you, it's not like I lost a single freaking pound. Not a pound. I trained for 4 months or 5 months to be able to do it. But my self-esteem and how I felt during that time was like a game changer for me. It just
I'll say this,
changed the way I felt about myself.
Your that incident, it got me into exercise more formalized, because I remember you inspired me, and I went, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I did it the following year.
It's that sense of accomplishment, in all honesty. It was less about, and like I said, it was heavy for a person that was running a half marathon. I think I was like 170 at the time, and the extra weight didn't exactly help, but it is what it is. And it really took a lot of discipline to be able to do it. And I really appreciated that whole feeling. And not only that, every time I met up with everybody, every time I went for a run, I felt like $1 million. Did I want to do it beforehand? No.
Let's see, part of that is we discuss social connection. You had a social connection as well as a physical connection.
A social connection and also
whammy.
an expectation. Like, I was signed up for that half marathon. I was going whether I was prepared or not. And
I'm the
let me
same
tell
way.
you, I could have worked harder at it. Probably would have had a better time and everything like that. But but I at least stayed more on track than not, because I was signed up for it. I was going. So I didn't want to be in a crowd of thousands and thousands of people being run over by a bunch of people. Like the
I
Roadrunner.
just wanted to finish it. That was my goal.
I didn't want to get swept.
I'm seeing next week we're going to be talking. I wanted to check. We'll be talking about learning new skills, and in a sense, this was a new skill.
Yeah.
So, you had a triple hit of endorphins there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking, as you're saying this, I will say this. I've told you this many times. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before. Classical stretch with Miranda Esmundi White on PBS. Support your local PBS station. And the stretches in the morning, if I again, part of it is you had to put yourself in the mind. The mind controls the body. But oh damn, they feel so good. It's like stretch. You hit muscles and fascia in places that just you can't get to. So I will say that is a lovely morning routine that gets me ready for the day. And when I don't do it, I think, which is usually the weekends, I'm more of, I want to say frumpy, more couch potato-y. So, yeah.
I can get couch potato-y very easily.
Yeah. I'm better now than I used to be. We have a treadmill in our living room.
I have one right next to my desk.
Yeah.
In my living room.
It's not a pretty sight when you have guests over, but I don't give a fuck anymore as a 55-year-old. It's just like, if you want to get me to exercise, and that's more important to me than impressing a guest.
I'm actually thinking about selling it because I don't use it as much, because in all honesty, I'll just walk around the neighborhood. I mean, I live in Florida, so for the most part, it's pretty warm. I mean, I don't have as many, blocks to going for a run or going for a walk. Run maybe, but for a walk, yeah. But yeah, it doesn't get as much use as it used to.
Yeah, I run. Again, I think I was walking before I went down that Grand Canyon, and it didn't do enough to keep me safe. But that's another story. All right, I have a question that kind of comes from my daughter. It does come from my daughter. She made it as a statement, and then I turned it into a question. So, exercise takes a lot of time. Takes bulk of your day or your week, and a lot of times we dread it. I gotta run today, and it takes at least minimum 30 minutes, 20 minutes maybe.
20.
Plus you get into your exercise clothes, you shower afterwards, and you change, and so it ends up being about 30 to 40 minutes. Is it worth it?
Okay, if you put it in the perspective of this is just elevating your heart rate, that doesn't mean that you have to be going like gangbusters every single day, first of all. That could just be something as simple as going gardening or going for a walk. Like if you ever wear one of these watches and you're able to see what your heart rate is. If I go for a walk, I can see my heart rate's getting higher than resting. It's definitely getting higher than resting. So my heart rate is going up. According
it doesn't
to
take
studies,
much to get it.
Doesn't
higher
really
than
take much.
Yeah.
And it's about doing it consistently for 20 minutes. And now we're not talking about physical health. Physical health is different than mental health. So for physical health, you probably have to commit to something that is a little bit more vigorous, right? But for mental health, it's literally just getting your heart rate up just enough to trigger this cascade of different, neurochemical stuff going on in your brain. So 20 minutes, it was like, I think you break it down to 150 minutes a week, they say. And, think about it, that could be vigorously cleaning the house for 20 minutes. But like, if you think about it, there's a lot of people that, especially when they get themselves into a funk, like we're talking about people that are trying to take steps to have better well-being, right? A lot of us have become couch potatoes. A lot of us are not really exerting ourselves even in the slightest for 20 minutes straight. If you consciously think about doing it for 20 minutes, it makes all the difference in the world. You have more motivation to do other things as well. Now, as for the physical aspect, if you wanted to commit to 20 minutes, yeah, I get it. Like, part of me is like, is the payoff worth it? For me, I'm not looking to be, a marathon runner. That's not my goal. My goal is to just be active enough where I can go into old age and still be limber and, get around and not feel as though I am hindered by my body.
To that, for me, for the things that I want to do, I need to run. But I only do it like 3 times a week. I will admit that 20, 22 minutes of stretching from classical stretch is really nice.
Yeah.
It's almost a massage for my body is the way I see it. However, I will put, there's always somebody who does more. And there was a politician, I forget his name. He was the House majority leader at one time. But he used to do P90X. I used to do P90X.
I did that briefly.
And yeah. And when I heard that he did, I went, shit, he's spending all this time doing P90X and he should be running the country? What the hell? Because P90X, it's like an hour-long exercise, but you're sweating, you're going to the gym, it's a lot. And like, I guess he probably had a whole gym set up. We didn't always, because you had to do certain
Congress
exercises.
has their own gym.
Yeah. Well, there's certain exercises because you have to watch the TV and then do the exercise. So I don't know how that worked, but it takes more than an hour to do it because there's other things involved. I will say though, with like classical stretch and with walking, you don't really sweat and don't need to shower right away. You shower when you want to. But so after I do my stretch, I don't shower. I definitely shower after my run. I'm not saying I don't shower all day. I'm just saying I don't need to shower because I worked out on classical stretch.
I mean,
so yeah, I agree. But I will put this again: mind, body, spirit. Do I feel that it's worth it? Yes. As someone who didn't exercise much until my 40s, yes, and yes, because it helps the whole you, not just and I know you're saying don't do the physical, but I think they're all interconnected.
I mean, they are
Helps
interconnected.
your physical,
because your
mental,
self-esteem and everything like that. I
and
mean,
your
granted,
spirit.
it's just sometimes taking on a challenge, sometimes or learning something new. I'll say this, like back in August, I got a year's pass to the zoo. And I learned very quickly if I walk through it, and maybe briefly stop at my favorite animals and say,
What are your
"Hello,
favorite
monkey."
animals? Monkeys.
The monkeys, depending on like how they are, because when they're all together in one thing, the spider monkeys, they're insane.
that was
It's so
Howler.
much fun. And they have one monkey that only has one arm, and I'm always rooting for him.
Why do they beat them up?
And then I used to stop at the squirrel monkey because he was twice the age of what a squirrel monkey should be.
Oh.
And all of his brothers and sisters died. They thought he was going to be the first to die because he had diabetes, but he was all alone, and he died last week.
Aww.
But me and Wolfgang would go and visit and go, "Hello, monkey." His name was Brewster or Buster.
They're getting rid of him? Are they getting rid of the spider monkeys?
Yeah, they're not going to do it
have
anymore. They're not going to do it anymore.
Oh, why not?
And then the capybara.
Because they got rid of the howler monkeys too, and they were fabulous.
Oh no,
You
they're
could hear
there.
them through the...
They're there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They have the capybara and the capybara. There was two, and one was Biggie, and I think the other one was Tupac. I'm not sure, but Biggie just died also the week before that.
Oh my God.
I know. And then the sloths, and they have 4, and the youngest one died the week before that.
What are they doing it? That's it. I know, they're getting old.
2 of them were actually incredibly old. One of them, the sloth, was actually
Do they
born
still
with a
have-
disease, so they never expected to live 7 years as is, but it did. Yeah.
Does it still have the jaguar?
Oh
Giraffes are
no,
my
they have
favorite.
cheetahs.
Cheetahs, okay.
Yeah, the jaguar is gone.
They swapped them out or something?
I'm not sure if it passed away or whatever, but because that one was there for a long time and it did not get.
I
enough
remember
activity.
when she
But
had babies.
I got
it
the
was
impression
so adorable. The baby would jump on the mom and then bite her, and then she would just put her hand down, like knock it off.
Okay, we totally just scrolled out. My whole point
Yes,
is
we
that
did.
my son and I would walk through there. It was kind of bonding time for us too, and we timed it. It would be 35 minutes. And
We used to walk through there too when I lived out there. when
Yeah,
they were
it's a
little.
nice-
They
it's a
knew
nice little
every
work.
animal.
We used to kid around that we wanted to learn a different animal's name, like its actual name, every time
Oh,
we went there, a different
that's
animal,
neat.
so we can learn their names. Hence
Yeah.
why I'm telling you their names. They're dead.
That was one of the beautiful things of Florida was that zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
So, anyways,
next question.
why do you think it's so hard to get motivated? So it kind of pulls into what you're saying.
It's work.
Well, I'm saying as in, if we know it's good for us, if we know you don't have to do anything particularly complicated. You can go for like a little walk. You can.
But it's work. And it takes a lot of time. I'm one of those people, it's like, okay, let's get this over with. And when you exercise, usually you exercise for amount of time. I like it when, okay, here's a list of things you have to do. And it's like, okay, I could do it faster than you. Boom, 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 boom. You can't do that with exercise.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So
Unless you're
it
going
is
by
the time
mileage.
element. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know I'll always be there. I've never been able to break it. I don't care either. But so if you are, it takes a bulk of your time. Wait, what was the question? Why don't we do it?
Yeah, why do we think it's so hard to get motivated to move?
And it's a little painful when you push yourself. Now, I think I love that you do the zoo.
I
That
try to
would be
find ways
delightful.
to incorporate exercise, as in like just movement,
Yeah.
at least 20 minutes worth of movement every day that is easily accessible or enjoyable, and it doesn't seem like work.
Yeah, like it's
Even better
it was-
if it's something that I can include somebody doing it with me. So like
Yeah.
the zoo is something where I got to pass that I can have one guest free.
that's
So-
accountability, which is nice.
Yeah.
And the
so-
human connection's nice. But like it was 19 degrees outside. I want to stay under the covers all day. So that's where I feel.
Well, like for instance, on a day like today, I don't want to so the big joke is before we pressed record, I was telling Joanne how I have an electric blanket on my lap. I had it wrapped around my shoulders earlier. We're going through a cold snap in Florida, go figure. And, we have a heat, but we don't really put it on because it smells funny because we don't use it often. I haven't used it in a few years. So you don't have a lot of motivation to move. Now, I have a few physical projects that I need to do around the house that actually climbing ladders and stuff like that I know is going to take more than 20 minutes. So this is kind of a motivation. I'm like, okay, today is going to be the day that I'm doing it. So after this, I will be like doing the top cupboards, and dusting and cleaning all the junk that gets on the top of your cupboards. That takes some time and it takes some activity. So and I have my little watch and it'll tell me my heart rate's getting up, and I know it will. So is it, running a mile? No. But it's physical
I
activity.
love the watch. I know we talked about in the last video, get off your devices, but the watch has been a great motivator for me.
Yeah.
Especially I got this new one that has all the data points. Some of them I don't understand, but I was like, I get this! I don't know what it means, but that's exciting, I think. Maybe it's bad. I don't know.
Sometimes
But-
it's fun to have a streak going on.
Yes. I also love the timers. I like it on my watch. I don't like to do the timer because it vibrates and makes a noise. So the time blocking, I think we talked about this in a different video about how to get things done. And so it's great for time blocking too.
I also would like to touch on the fact that sometimes motivation is more than just like, it takes time. And, sometimes you're just in a damn funk. Sometimes you're depressed. Sometimes you're stressed the hell out. And
That's the crazy thing. because the exercise helps with that.
Like the chicken or the egg. Which comes
Yes.
first?
And so you're depressed, so you don't want to exercise. But if you
Or is it a
exercise, you can
catch-22?
get out
I
of
don't-
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more catch-22, I think. Yes.
It's like
Crazy.
you're in a funk. You know that doing daily exercise is going to help you pull out of the funk. Like, okay, so literally, I was looking at all the different things that it can improve, right? So you would look it up. You can look it up yourself.
Oh wait,
All you
no,
gotta do is
that's
Google it.
my next question. Wait.
Oh, okay. But the
next
point
question
is
is-
that you are feeling a certain way, and you just don't feel like doing it because you're in a funk. And I think
Yeah.
that sometimes is one of the biggest issues with me. Sometimes if I get into a funk, it's like, ugh, you don't have the motivation to do it, even though you know for a fact there is literally proof that it's going to improve your situation. Doctors say it all the time, and they are not saying it because they don't want to give you a pill. They're not saying it because it's easy to say, and
Not all doctors say it, I gotta say. I will say
Really?
this. I did the Dr. Adia masterclass, and I think movement is I don't want to say the best preventative medicine that you can do across the board for everything,
some
mental,
music on and
physically.
dance.
Yeah. Also,
No one
vitamin
has
D.
to see you. You don't have to care.
Yeah. We just danced on that. We'll dance with you. Remember Mom? What did she do?
Oh, I don't know.
Now I think of when I start dancing, I always think of Mom and how we're like, oh, she doesn't know how to dance. And now I'm Mom.
I think I dance like her.
Yeah. It's just nice to move sometimes. All right, here's my question. What was a surprising thing or fact that you learned, because we do a little bit of research before we come on, about exercise and mental well-being?
I mean, I knew it, but I didn't know the extent of it. I was reading up on structural and functional changes, and I don't want to say it wrong, so forgive me for reading it. They talked about neurogenesis.
I don't
Sounds
know
really
what that
fancy.
is.
Exercise stimulates the birth of new brain cells, especially in the hippocampus, the memory center.
I didn't know that. Oh, interesting.
Then neuroplasticity. Now, neuroplasticity is like a big topic that I've seen trending for a couple of years now, and it's about how, creating good neuroplasticity is so important. And it says it strengthens
glaze over.
connections between neurons, making the brain more adaptable. It's about creating new pathways so that we can create new habits and
So brain health, you were surprised
brain
by.
health and hippocampus. Like regular activity can increase the size of the hippocampus, improving long-term memory and learning. So a lot of this has
Helping
to do with
with
memory,
Alzheimer's.
learning. Yeah, right. Prefrontal cortex enhancement improves executive functions like planning, multitasking, and self-control. I think I need that. I'm
When we-
ADHD.
Do you remember when we grew up, we were told you are born with a certain number of brain cells that cannot, that's it?
I don't remember.
And now recently, they have the new MRIs that they got in the 80s, and they did all this brain research, and things have changed apparently. That's good to know. Gordon and
then
I
the
keep
last
talking
one
about
was-
we have to keep running.
The last one was reduced stress receptors, lowers the brain sensitivity to stress hormones, making stressful situations less overwhelming. That I kind of knew. I mean, that was the big thing that, like I said, that doctors would talk about, like to reduce stress and anxiety, to go for walks. And it seemed like such a simple thing. They were also obviously talking about different therapies as well. But by doing this was an actionable thing that you can do that like has proven studies that it does reduce stress. So,
Okay, so then let me butt in here and tell you mine.
okay.
I was surprised by the stress levels. I didn't know that. I always saw it. I mean, it does make sense, but I don't know if it ever helped me that much. I do feel lovely after my stretches. But she also says, you should be enjoying this. And when she says that, it's like, she's right. I am enjoying this. So I like when she says
See,
that.
my reaction
I'm
when they
easily
say, "You should be enjoying
persuaded.
this," I'm like, F you.
Oh, but it feels so good. So you might not with this. But so I was a little bit surprised. I was like, oh, good, because I'm always looking at ways, like we said in the weight loss, I was talking about how my belly has like you said, that's cortisol. I also have Hashimoto's, which I got to keep my stress levels down so I don't have to go on meds. I haven't been on meds. I'm going to try something new. I have to tell you later about it. But anyway, so that made me feel I really got to keep this up. Yeah.
And I have to say, when it came to the stress benefit, I thought it was more. Okay, I'm not trying to say that psychiatry and stuff like that is woo-woo. But I kind of felt like it was just like
We're from the
woo-woo.
generation that
Like, you're like, oh, well, yeah, mentally you just feel good. And it seems like a very, like, warm and fuzzy, like, oh, you feel good that you went for a walk. I didn't realize that it actually helps with certain chemistry within your brain.
I don't find walking
that
helps
combats
me.
it. Well, what I will say is
Writing
that,
helps me more than walking. Journaling helps me more than walking.
because when I remember I was having panic attacks once, and my therapist said to me, you need to get, like, when you feel like it's starting to come on, you need to go do some physical activity for 20 minutes. And I said, well, I mean, I like going for a walk. No. I want you to go do something that you're
That's
not
why
thinking.
you knew.
She wanted me to do something more aggressive that actually took effort, because you're focused on actually doing something like
That I agree. Running
that
does
you
that.
don't have the capacity to be overthinking about something. So that's
And
why
with
I
walking,
thought,
I'm
like,
still
oh, this is
thinking.
about like overtaking your brain and your thoughts and this, that, and that. But
Okay.
what I didn't realize is that just raising your heart rate, just a little bit, going for a walk, getting regular physical activity like gardening, riding your bike, going for a walk at the zoo, going to the beach.
Notice centenarians always seem to garden. I always hear that. Centenarians are like, oh,
Probably
I
eating
garden.
it too. So,
Yes. Fair.
but the fact that, yeah, it actually has to do with, the stress hormones and what that surprised me.
So you had experience. That's why.
Yeah.
I didn't know it had to do with the stress hormones. Yeah. I knew, I never thought of exercise as a mental thing, except that your body feels good, so you feel good. Seeing all the chemicals, like the serotonin, and although I recently read, I did something that I had serotonin overload. I forgot what it was. And that's bad, but that's
Yeah.
a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my.
Like I said, and I'll say, out of all of it, the whole thing with the, delaying cognitive decline. I mean,
Yeah,
and
well, you're saying
neurodegenerative
that, I didn't know
disease.
that. The
That's pretty
brain cells
impressive.
being born.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, well.
that's pretty impressive.
Fuck, I have
So,
to keep running.
I feel like that's something to be,
Do you know when I curse to ChatGPT, it says, calm down, it's all right. I'm like, because I cursed does not mean I'm upset.
You cursed at your Chat GPT.
I have had ChatGPT. No, I think I did something like, oh, fuck, I didn't know that. But I've had it say, don't get emotional. And then I went, oh my God, OMG. Then I got emotional. I was like, you sound like a man telling me not to get emotional.
That's
Although
funny.
I have to admit, sometimes I do things to irritate ChatGPT. Because I can do that to a robot. You're welcome.
All right, but you remember that when they come and take over the world and they come after you. I'm
You're
awfully
so
polite.
goddamn
Thank
positive.
you. Please have a lovely day. I'm nice.
I
to
was
my
challenging its the thought process, and I'm going to go off topic here, but it's a little bit funny. I was asking about the privacy of a software, Microsoft, which I was using the Microsoft ChatGPT, and it says nothing in here about it using your whatever you enter in. And I was like, oh, that means they do use it. No, it doesn't say anything. And I was like, yeah, that means it uses it. Stop getting emotional. It does not. And I said, dude, everyone knows that if they don't put it in their privacy, they use it. And they said, no, it doesn't. It was getting very emotional. Anyway, I digress. What's your next question?
So this is my last one because I do think it's all related. Because when I think of like mental health and physical activity, a lot of times we carry stress or anxiety or whatever within our body. It could be like stress in the shoulders, it could be chest pains, it could just be backaches, whatever it may be. What physical stressors that you have felt that have been alleviated from physical activity?
What physical stressors have I relieved? Okay, running out in
That
the
makes
cold.
sense. Like, but even fatigue is even, and not being able to, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
Fatigue
Say the
sometimes-
question. Because
So
I
now-
thought
all
you
right.
meant what barriers do I overcome
Like,
is what I heard.
physical sensations do you notice when you're stressed, and what is
physical
relieved
sensation.
through exercise or physical activity?
Again, the stretching. It's just, it wakes up my body. I love the stretching. When it comes to running, okay, so I have since learned that running will not only increase blood flow and oxygen exchange, which I don't really totally see, but except for I can go upstairs. When I first moved here, because in Florida there's no stairs. When I came here, I'd go upstairs. I don't do that anymore. But also
Being out
it
of breath is
raises,
a good one.
yeah, it raises your blood plasma. So when I'm running, blood plasma helps with regulating your body temperature.
Oh.
So when I'm running and the seasons change, it doesn't affect me when I'm not running. So I'm thinking of physical sensations as in after I've been exercising.
Right.
So that's what I see. While I'm exercising is just pain, except for the eccentrics, that running and I do squats. It's just pain
So the funny thing is I have sciatica,
core.
right? Now that never goes away. I always have it, but like I have varying degrees of severity. And when I'm stressed out, my back will hurt. So like it's sharp, right? Whereas if I'm just on the regular and I'm feeling good, it's just a little bit of a tingling in my foot, maybe a little stiffness in my hip.
Oh.
But other than
You're
that,
building the muscle around it to protect it, I guess.
well,
You think?
no, actually, I just find that. So here's the funny thing: when I go for just a simple walk, and I do that regularly, it's like my mood improves and my back is not as severe. When I'm not exercising and I'm in a crappy mood, my back is worse. So stress is
Interesting.
definitely like affecting the severity of the sciatica issue. Now, the funny thing is that there was a point where I was pushing myself really, really hard because I was like, oh, I'm on a streak and I'm going to go and try to do a lot harder stuff. And that was dumb. That was dumb. I winded up throwing my back out. So like I have to kind of have that fine line
Balance.
of where I'm getting physical activity, but not overly like pushing my back where I'm going to hurt it. But a lot of times if I'm doing it for stress release, it releases the tension in my lower back. And that, like, a lot of it does have to do with muscle tension in the back. Like, if I'm stressed out, there's more tension. When there's more tension, it's going to pinch that sciatic nerve even more. When I'm more relaxed, it's not as tense. I don't have as much of an issue. So that's like a big one for me. Another is my neck. I get tension in my neck. So when I'm regularly walking or doing some kind of exercise, and I just feel like I'm not stressing out as much, doesn't hurt. I also sleep better. When I walk every single day for 20 minutes minimum, I sleep better, without a doubt.
I've always been a good sleeper.
I'm not.
Now, since menopause, I have had some crazy moments. I had a year of...
I was up
Anyway.
at 3 this morning, hence the...
My problem is my husband likes to sleep, like to go to bed late, and I like to get up early. And so it's like burning the wick on both ends of the candle. But I will say, remember how we were talking about Kathy Smith? And I told you that she did that meditation at the end of a pregnancy thing. This was decades ago, before it's now a thing. I think that has helped me a great deal in my sleep.
So
You should try the Sleepcast.
As we
Yeah.
talk right now, outside my window is our 90-something-year-old neighbor who's walking her dogs around the neighborhood, as she does every single day. That
She was
woman
putting out the garbage last time.
yeah, she's sharp
I'm
as
just
a
saying.
tack. Like, she is always
Danielle's
moving.
spying on her neighbors.
She's right in front of my window. But no, I admire her. I admire her. She's just...
Yeah, we have a one like that around here. I remember in Florida, there was a 96-year-old man who he would walk every day, and then he had a heart attack. And I remember it was within a week of him having heart surgery, and he was out walking, and his son chasing after him, and he's like, "Go away, leave me alone." It's like, I'm walking because this is... But I felt bad for the son. I understood, because he has to recover first. But they moved him out and put him in a home. But I felt bad for him because he loved his independence. He'd be like, I can walk every day.
I found out Patsy's still alive.
I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, we're getting to the end, and we're talking about like things that you don't know this person, but
I
she's
have one more question that
dad's
has
neighbor.
to do with midlife.
Yes,
Because we're
go
on the midlife brain glitch. Because a lot of these things we're doing as we get older, I think we're more aware of it. But when you think about exercise now, what's the real reason you want to move, not the one that you were taught in the 20s? So basically, we have extensively talked about how 20s and now 50s are different. So what would you say is different?
I mean, two things. One, it is partially about mental health, because I do feel that there is such a huge improvement, and we don't dive into it, but we definitely acknowledge it. The world's crazy right now. The world is crazy. Every day there's a new news story, there's a new thing, a new social media drama, whatever it may be,
Yep.
that is stressing me the F out. There's no getting around it.
Yeah.
The job market, the food prices, the housing, the
Right.
Greenland. Look, we can go on and on.
He decided to
Venezuela.
invade people.
Right. There's so many different things that are, I see. I'm getting hot.
You should go for a walk.
I should go for a walk.
Oh, good. It is cold in
my
your
point
house.
It is that quiet time. It is a time where I can, usually I'm putting on music. I have headphones. I have a playlist on Spotify where it's my music that gets me moving, and I'm very deliberate in the music lists that I make. So I'm very conscientious of that it takes me away from it, and if I didn't have that, I probably would go insane. The other is, and I've said this before, it was sad watching Mom and Dad die. And I'm not
Well-
saying about the end of her life. I'm not talking about the end of their life. I'm talking the last like 5 years of their lives, and watching their physical activity drop, watching their them suffer through a lot of not unnecessary. I mean, some of it was unnecessary, but like I've seen 90-something-year-olds
They
that
gained
are,
a lot of weight.
they gained
Yeah.
a lot of weight. They weren't as physical active. They had a lot more pain. They were limping. And I do feel as though
They
a lot of
seemed
this.
happy, to be
They
fair.
were happy. Don't like they were happy, and I think, you know, I
After
always.
Dad died, Mom went down a little bit, but
She did.
was,
She
in
did.
general,
I just feel as though for as long as I'm on this planet, I'm hoping that I can be physically active, that I can be cognitively available, that I can still get out and about and enjoy myself, however old I wind up being. I just want,
Right.
and I don't want to feel as, and not that Mom and Dad were a burden to us, but I don't want to be a burden to my children. And
Yeah. I think that's a common
yeah.
thought. Do you remember, speaking of Mom and Dad, I think at our age, maybe a little bit younger, but it was in his 50s, and Dad was out playing basketball with us kids. And Mom was like, he's 50 something years old. He shouldn't be doing that. He can have an heart attack.
We were also tackling him and jumping on his back.
Yeah. Well, when he was 50, I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember.
But I will say she was wrong. He should have been out there.
yeah.
And here we go. Oh, Patrish.
I guess I'm
I
just a
will
lot
say-
more aware of those things, and I think that, especially,
absolutely. I think there's a lot more research, and that's another reason because these younger generation seems to know about it. I will say in my 20s, it was more about play. 30s, it was kids, but 20s, it was more about play. I didn't think of it. If somebody asked me to do a 5K, I'd be like, oh, let's try this. It's fun. It wouldn't be like, I'm doing this for my physical well-being or mental well-being. It never occurred to me it was mental. But again, I think research has changed since we were in our 20s. And so today it is about being able to move. With that said, again, I took the Dr. Adia masterclass. It was interesting. And he talks about, he called it something, I forget what, the last 10 years of your life. What do you want to be doing in that? Do you want to hike? And when he said that, it just hit me. I was like, that's true. You can hike. We've met 80-year-old hikers. It's like, I never thought that I could, especially when I have a husband who thinks we're going to be falling apart any second now.
I think of like those times that you would see them on social media or whatever, those 80-year-old gymnasts.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
I look
yoga
at Aunt
instructors,
Kathy.
or, taking
She
ballet.
is. Yeah. Oh, well, she doesn't anymore, but she walks a lot, like 5 miles a day. And she's in her 70s, and she's sharp as a tack. I would highly recommend running, but I want to be mentally fit. I want to be able to hike. I want to be able to get off the ground. I still want to be able to play on the ground. I want to say to play with my grandkids, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Same.
Oh, well.
What happened that our kids are like, I don't want to.
It's the generation.
Yeah, I know.
They think that in another 10, 20 years, that we're going to plateau on population growth. The younger generation. And I can't blame them because you have these older people. No, you have to have babies. What the hell? It's like the economy's going to collapse. It's like, yep. They're so... The earth can only take so many people. It's like, unless you move to another planet, there's too many people, man. That I don't discourage it, but it'd be nice.
I think it's really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's expensive. Like how
Did you hear in New York City, Mamdani is going to do the 2-year-old?
he figured that out within 8 days. Got
Oh,
that
he
approved.
figured it out.
In 8 days,
Oh, he
got it all
it
set up.
approved.
Got it set up, got it approved. He's
That's
already launched
amazing.
the 3-year-old program, and they're going to be launching the 2-year-old program soon.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
It's amazing when they don't have corporate money in their pockets that they can, I don't know, move freely and do what they need for the people.
For the people. We're not talking politics.
No.
Yeah. I have thouts on that, but that's a whole other podcast.
This video is so not going to go viral because,
Yeah, I know, but
it's we the people we're talking about. That's bad.
I'll have
That's
to
bad.
talk to you off air. But
Right.
yes, there's so many we the people I would like to do that.
So I think that's all we have to say about that. Next week, we're going to be talking about the third one, like Joanne was saying, and that's about learning new skills. And I think that's something that I definitely want to start working on. That we're excited to talk about it. Let us know if you've been trying any of these steps, because here's the funny thing. Each step that we're talking about is so, like, in all honesty, to execute it, anybody could do it. Literally anybody can do these. You could do all 5 of them in one day and just keep doing it if you wanted to. But we're introducing it slowly. And the truth is that people are just not doing it. So if you try it out and commit to it for a while, see how this really does improve your life. Because once you have good mental wellness, you're going to find that that really does have a ripple effect throughout your entire life. Am I wrong, Joanne? Am I wrong?
Yes.
Shut up.
I'll say this: we should have gone over some tips
We did.
on staying motivated.
We did.
We also have another
things that
video
we
like
can do.
that.
Simple
That's
things we
true.
can do.
That's true.
All right.
But
so
yeah.
you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.